Hey everybody, I'm John, and you're watching my YouTube channel, A Warrior's Heart. Today I want to ask you a question. Do you enjoy a good war story or a fight movie, something like that? If you're like most of us, we do. You do. Whenever Hollywood decides to put out a new war movie or some type of movie off of a fight, people line up for hours in order to buy the tickets to get in to see it. Whenever a book comes out about a soldier's life or some sort of fight, people buy those books by the millions. Most of us enjoy a good war story. Well, today I'd like to talk to you about a battle in a war that was fought without ever having to use an M16 or a tank or explosives or even a knife. A battle that was fought purely off of prayer and faith in God. I'm talking about a battle from the Bible, from the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 20. Now this is a story of King Jehoshaphat in the land of Israel. King Jehoshaphat, he went out and he told his scouts and his spies to go out towards the edge of the land of Israel and to keep an eye on things and report back to him if they began to come under attack. Well, one day they did. The scouts reported back to the king that they were surrounded and that 3 enemy forces were coming against them. Bigger, badder, tougher forces. And the king, he became worried. He became fearful because he knew that Israel was not prepared for a fight like this. He knew that they would probably be wiped out. Now, we just had September the 11th, the anniversary of September the 11th, 2001, pass us by. I can remember that day and how fearful that the nation of America was. And that was just a handful of attackers coming against us. Can you imagine if America itself came under attack or was surrounded by an enemy that was getting ready to wipe it out, an enemy that was so great that we knew we didn't stand a chance? Can you imagine that? It would kind of probably be like living during the times of the Cold War, where we weren't sure if someone in Russia was ever going to hit that little red button, and before you know it, we were all going to be wiped out. That kind of fear, that kind of panic is what we're talking about here. The nation of Israel knew that they were in trouble. But what did they do? They didn't gather all of their forces together and say, look, we're going out for a fight right now. We're probably going to lose, but we're going to go out anyway. No, they got together and they had a national prayer meeting. King Jehoshaphat led his nation in prayer. They knew that they had to turn to God if they were going to have any sort of hope for help. And so that's what they did. They turned to God, the nation prayed. And then when they got done praying, then they gathered their forces and they marched out towards the battlefield to meet the enemy. When they got there, as they were marching out towards the battlefield, they didn't take their biggest and their baddest and their toughest soldiers and put them out front like most, nations would. He took his marching band and singers and put them out front. And they marched into battle as a nation celebrating and singing praises to God. They had prayed for help, and they knew that if they were going to have any, it was going to come from God. So that's what they did. They marched into battle praising God. And when Israel got to the battlefield, the Bible tells us that all of the enemies had began to fight each other. God had caused them to fight each other and wipe each other out. So that when Israel got to the battlefield, all of the enemies were dead. All of the enemies had already been destroyed, and they had destroyed themselves. God had caused them to destroy themselves. God had fought Israel's battle for them before they got to the battlefield. He'll do the same thing for you. The next time that you find yourself in trouble, if you find yourself in a fight, maybe you might feel overwhelmed. You might feel like you're not ready to fight that battle. Call on God. Pray to Him. Say, Lord, you know the spot I'm in. You know I'm in a dire situation and I need your help. Remember to do that. Trust in God. Believe in God. and have faith that He will deliver you. He only wants the best things for us. He loves us. So remember, talk to God. Be like the nation of Israel. Talk to God. Pray for help when you find yourself in trouble. Next time that you find yourself in a fight, win with Him and allow God to fight your battles. This is just a little word that I wanted to bring to you today to encourage you and to give you hope. I like a good war story, and this is one of my favorites because the nation of Israel did not have to lift a knife, a sword, anything like that. They trusted God, and God fought their battles for them. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. Be a warrior.